And we begin tonight, one evening after the first presidential debate, with President Biden coming out swinging, admitting to some performance fumbles, but declaring himself as the defender of democracy and the man for the job in a fiery speech in Raleigh, North Carolina today.
I know how to tell the truth. I know right from wrong. And I know how to do this job. I know how to get things done. And I know, like millions of Americans know, when you get knocked down, you get back up.
Okay, why didn't the Biden campaign send that guy to the debate last night? It wasn't just the president and those North Carolina crowds. Biden surrogates like California Governor Gavin Newsom and Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg and even former President Obama have been out in full force today, rallying around the president and trying to refocus nervous Democrats, op-ed writers, and the social media universe that whatever you thought of Biden's debate performance last night, a couple of things are just true. Thing one is that Joe Biden is going to be the nominee. Replacing him as the nominee, while it is a topic of heated conversation in many a group chat and many of our phones, is not happening. And thing two is that in all of the uproar over Biden's performance, what has gotten lost, admittedly, including by those of us in the media, is the other guy who was on that debate stage last night, the convicted criminal who, with zero fact-checking or journalistic pushback from the moderators, said stuff unimpeded like this.
I just won 2 club championships, not even senior, 2 regular club championships. To do that, you have to be quite smart, and you have to be able to hit the ball a long way, and I do it. He doesn't do it. He can't hit a ball 50 yards. He challenged me to a golf match. He can't hit a ball 50 yards.
How many billions of dollars do you owe in civil penalties for molesting a woman in public, for doing a whole range of things, of having sex with a porn star on the night while your wife was pregnant? I mean, what are you talking about? You have the morals of an alley cat.
Give you a minute, sir.
I didn't have sex with a porn star.
Okay, so out of all the accusations that Biden laid out right there, I probably would have protested the one and say that I did not molest a woman in public. But, you know, that's just me. Instead, we have a former U.S. president saying on live TV with millions of people watching as the fate of our country looms that he did not have sex with a porn star. Not the rape stuff. He didn't deny that, just the porn star. Welcome to American Politics, everybody. Trump also refused on several occasions to address policy, even when directly asked about it. And he avoided answering any questions. But most of all, Trump lied.
We have the greatest economy in the history of our country. They will take the life of a child in the 8th month, the 9th month, and even after birth. And Nancy Pelosi, if you just watched the news from 2 days ago, on tape to her daughter, who's a documentary filmmaker, they say. But she's saying, oh, no, it's my responsibility. I was responsible for this because I offered her 10,000 soldiers or National Guard, and she turned them down. He wants to raise your taxes by 4 times. They're taking black jobs and they're taking Hispanic jobs. On January 6th, we were respected all over the world. All over the world, we were respected.
No, we were not respected on January 6th, nor during the Trump presidency. An attack on the U.S. Capitol was the deadliest assault on the seat of American power in over 200 years. This isn't about shades of gray or some intellectual exercise about lies versus untruths versus falsehoods. Everything you just heard from Donald Trump is an egregious lie. First of all, the pandemic triggered a massive recession during his presidency. The government borrowed $3.1 trillion in 2020 to stabilize the economy. No states allow people to execute babies after birth. It is illegal in every state to do so, and it is called infanticide. Speaker Pelosi did not direct the National Guard. In fact, during the coup, she and then Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell called for military assistance, including from the National Guard. Trump did nothing. Biden will quadruple taxes in total. Biden quadrupling taxes is total fiction. He's just going to let the tax cut that Trump passed for super billionaires to expire. Biden actually wants to prevent tax increases on anybody making less than $400,000 a year, which is the vast majority of you taxpayers out there. The rich don't pay. There is no evidence that undocumented immigrants are taking jobs away from black Americans. There's no such thing as black jobs. That's just not a thing. Trump lied dozens and dozens and dozens of times. And those lies went unchecked by CNN moderators and at times, unfortunately, by President Biden. So yes, it is widely believed that President Biden did not do well. He didn't do well. But Trump didn't do well either. He didn't gain any new voters last night, not one. He did nothing to gain new voters. He did nothing but offer what non-MAGA Americans already know, that he's a lying, self-obsessed, deeply unappealing, morally bankrupt, convicted felon who turned the word Palestinian into a slur on the national stage. In terms of the hand-wringing, the fretting, and the fallout, it is easy to just listen to the professionals, the pundits, the op-ed writers, the screaming headlines, and those of us on the TV. But it's also important to listen to what regular people said and what they want.
The feeling I had inside was Trump, hell no. He lied through the whole thing. And Biden, it's like, oh no, he is really in a bad shape. I mean, Trump is an absolute no. He's a liar and a thief and a rapist and all those other things. It's just not acceptable. That's the way I was brought up. You don't lie and you take accountability for yourself. At least Biden's that way. He seems like an honorable and honest guy, but I don't think he's got the stamina.
I thought he stumbled. You know what happens? I thought Trump was unhinged for 90 straight minutes. So I think comparing that little stumble from Biden to, like, you know, racist rantings for 90 minutes, it's like there's no comparison.
Joining me now is David Plouffe, MSNBC political analyst and former Obama campaign manager, and Michael Steele, former chair of the Republican National Committee, co-host of The Weekend on MSNBC, and host of the Michael Steele podcast. Thank you both for being here. David Plouffe, you're the person I most, you guys are, this is actually the panel that my dream panel for today, because I feel like you guys can both talk me down and give me real reality. We talked last night. You were on our Super Show last night, and you were very honest about how President Biden did. But isn't it important for us to step back just a tiny bit? Because regular people don't view it the way we view it, right? They're not in the business that you are. They're not in the media business. They're just regular people. And it did seem, when you listen to the focus group people, that they weren't as freaked out as professional Democrats are. Is that valid?
Well, we'll find out. You know, within 5 to 6 days or so, we'll have a lot of research. Public, but also private. Senate candidates are doing the research. We'll get a sense. So to talk you down a little bit, I mean, I do think Trump did not gain anything last night. He was horrific. There's a tragedy in that because he didn't pay the full price for being so horrific. And I think he's kind of close to his vote ceiling. You know, there's not much more for him to gain. So this is a race Joe Biden can win. I think he's going to be the nominee unless he decides in a week from now that it just doesn't look winnable. I don't think that'll be the case. I think we have reached the point where it's likely another candidate, and there's plenty of risk with that.
Yeah.
Probably would be the stronger candidate, younger, different. But Joe Biden can win this race. And I think what voters are going to process is he's now on probation. But he doesn't have many opportunities to get off probation as it relates to his fitness for office. Speeches help, but not many people see these speeches. Today was great. For the voters we need, probably didn't see much of it. The convention even doesn't reach too many voters outside of the party, but that's another opportunity. And then we'll have another debate. If I were Biden, I'd ask for more than that. Trump may not debate again. I think Biden should do as many interviews as he can. YouTube influencers, TikTok influencers, he's done that. I'd intensify that just to give people. So what he said today, what Barack Obama said today, what Bill Clinton said today was, hey, people have bad debates, but let's look at the contrast, the values, the record. But I think this is not just about having a bad debate. The biggest question about Biden this entire campaign have been voters, not MAGA voters, swing voters, even base voters saying, we're concerned about his fitness. He exacerbated those last night, but he does have time to overcome them, but it's going to take a lot of work. The thing to remember, Bill Clinton actually famously said this at one point, I think it was in the 90s. A lot of time voters will choose strong and wrong over weak and right.
Yeah.
And I think that's what voters got last night. But there's a lot to do with Trump's debate performance in ads and surrogate work to really pound in, you know, not just the lying. He wouldn't answer questions about child care, about the opioid crisis, because it was all about himself, that narcissism. So the race is kind of different than it was pre-debate, and then I think Biden was trailing narrowly. We may see polls that show him down more, but I don't think it's because Trump's going to go from like 48 to 54.
Right.
My guess is Biden will go down, and then he's got an opportunity to get those voters back.
Yeah, because Trump does, Michael Steele, feel like there's a lid to this, right? People aren't going to listen to him. What I was thinking last night as I'm watching it is, the Biden thing it was uncomfortable to watch him sometimes. But every time Trump spoke, I thought, no, that's a lie, that's a lie, that's a lie. And it was so frustrating watching the journalists, the two moderators, say nothing, as he literally said things like aborting a baby after birth. That's like physically impossible. That's like saying I'm going to jump into the pool, and once I'm in the water, I'm going to abort my jump into the pool. I'm already in the pool. You cannot abort something that's already done. You've already had the baby. And he just said it. And so anyway, you're kind of moving forward. There's been a lot of people who've come out swinging. Barack Obama, as David just said, he came out today. Bad debate nights happen. Trust me, I know. This election's still a choice between someone who has fought for ordinary folks his entire life and someone who only cares about himself, between someone who tells the truth, someone who knows right and wrong and will give it to the American people straight, and someone who lies through his teeth for his own benefit. Last night didn't change that. It's why so much is at stake in November. I would say Gavin Newsom gave his Lord of the Rings speech last night. I'm not going to play it. We don't have 49 seconds to play it. But, I mean, his was like Lord of the Rings for Frodo. Like, he came in hot. Is that what it takes? Is it surrogates? Is it something else?
No.
And Kamala Harris, too. But VP Harris came in strong as well.
Yeah. David may disagree with me a little bit on this, but I think it's more than that. I think it's Biden. I think it has to be him. And I think it has to be him in a big way. And I thought today was a good day. 70% registered voters said they were going to watch this. That translates to about 49 million last night. So there's a lot of room here, right? There are well over 100+ million voters out there that he can go after. Here's the thing, I think, in many respects, that has to happen. Folks need to just calm the hell down. Democrats need to check themselves. All this talk about replacing him is not going to happen. Joe Biden is not going to make that move. The First Lady is not going to encourage him to make that move. At least that's my assessment at this point.
Hey there, MSNBC fans. I'm Luke Russert, and be sure to join me, Rachel Maddow, Jen Psaki, Lawrence O'Donnell, Steve Kornacki, Joy Reid, and many more September 7th in Brooklyn, MSNBC Live Democracy 2024. Click on the link for ticket information. We will see you there.